Do any of you want to weigh in on the question about upper body injuries and what Senator King has learned from the Wounded Warrior program? Any of you have any insight on that?
I mean, it's something that definitely we have to go and look at, Senator. I'd be interested to know a little bit more about that, but that is something that we've got to address as we continue to scale out these autonomous systems.
Well, for who's ever listening in DOD and VA, it's the point that the senator's made that someone needs to look at. So thank you for raising that.
Mr. Chairman, something like 75% of the casualties in Ukraine are caused by drones. And so this is very serious.
That's important information, Senator. Senator Scott.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your kind words earlier. Thank each of you for being here today. I'm glad President Trump and the Department of War are prioritizing this. For years, I have and others have made it a goal to get the government to stop purchasing communist-made drones to protect our national security. Let's be clear, Communist China is our enemy. They've chosen, not the people, the government of Communist China has chosen to be our enemy. And we should not rely on them for absolutely anything, much less issues of national security. In past NDAs, I and others have fought for my American Security Drone Act to prohibit the purchasing of drones from several entities, which was a huge step to get this done in the fiscal year 25 NDA. I want to thank the chairman and the ranking member. I fought and secured a provision that allowed for the blacklisting of known bad actors, DJI, Autel, to phase them out of the market. This was a huge win for our national security, and I was thrilled to see President Trump and Chairman Carr move forward with fully implementing this provision. But we're not even close to being done yet. We have to keep fighting to ensure Communist China has absolutely zero role in our drone supply or anywhere in our military, which is critical to American safety. That means unleashing American manufacturing in the drone industry and many others. So let's talk about the Blue UAS program, which, as you know, is intended to keep commercial drones free of parts made by adversarial nations like Communist China. This list has traditionally been viewed as safe, but it's a well-known fact that they often have ties to CCP-owned companies that continue to find loopholes in our laws to infiltrate our markets. Mr. Metz, what steps can Congress take next to get Communist China completely out of our drone supply chain?
Senator, thank you for the question. So for the drone dominance program, our phase 1 deliveries will all be, that are delivered to the troops, will all be NDA compliant. Going forward from there, the drone dominance program will be more prescriptive than the NDAs in terms of not allowing various components to be included in the systems that we procure, with the long-term goal of building a drone supply chain that is American. So for instance, in phase 2, we'll be placing orders in August for phase 2, we will not be allowing any Chinese batteries or motors in phase 2, in addition to other restrictions that we'll be imposing that are above and beyond the current statutory restrictions.
Okay. Mr. Metz, the threat CCC drones and parts pose extend beyond just drones, but things like cameras that could be outfitted to the drone. In recent days, we've seen our International Trade Commission side with Chinese camera producers over GoPro, an American company, which will allow China to continue to sell their spy cameras in our country. This completely undermines our markets, harms American companies, then creates a total vulnerability for Americans' data to still end up in the hands of our enemy. To truly stop Communist China's influence of this market and protect our safety, wouldn't you agree we must also address these vulnerabilities? Mr. West.
Senator, yes, and thank you for championing this legislation, which has done so much for our domestic industrial base. It's very important.
So how are we going to make sure there's no equipment purchased or used by the Department of War that has zero ties to Communist China manufacturers, and work with the FCC?
Senator, the one crucial step that we've taken is to migrate the blue list that you invoked from DIU to the Defense Contract Management Agency. Now, why was this done? Number one, they have the scale in terms of the numbers and the real expertise to ensure that if you make the blue list, you are NDA compliant. But as you mentioned, this is difficult stuff. In other words, you have to examine the bill of materials, you have to examine the capital stack, and you have to autopsy these drones, rip them apart, and get down to the subcomponent level and then build up the expertise to understand where exactly these things are coming from. So as Travis said, we aspire to have a more aggressive on-ramp for American components than the NDAA. So ultimately, by deep in 27, these drones are American or allied.
Do you think everybody's taking seriously that we cannot rely on Communist China for anything in our military?
Yes, Senator, I do.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.